right, we're joined now by Ray Fittipaldo of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, our Steelers insider, brought to you by the Western PA Injury Attorneys of LGKG, built on relationships, credibility, and integrity. We'll see if he can improve the quality of today's radio program. Here's how I got out of the last segment.
I wish my parents were flight attendants growing up.
Because that has everything to do with it.
Well, I'm sure it does. I love traveling, but I hate traveling, if you catch what I'm picking down.
Colossal boob, Adam Crowley. We got Doran Dickerson across from me, and now Ray Fittipaldo on the Fan Hotline. Good morning to you, Ray.
Good morning, guys. How we doing?
We are excellent. Yes,
Great.
We are great. Are the Steelers going to trade for Cooper Kupp?
Listen, this contract is different from Devontae Adams. There's actually, some roster bonuses that would have to be, considered for whichever team acquired him. I understand the Rams would be picking up some of the salary from this season, but there's an awful lot left on that for next season and the year after, to be honest with you. So if they would do it, I think you would do it for a fourth or a fifth. You guys saw Hopkins got traded this morning for a fourth or a fifth. Kupp would be a rental. So unless they decided to do a sign and a trade for a rental, I wouldn't give up a second for sure.
Through 7 games, Ray, has George Pickens convinced you that he's a number 1 wide receiver?
No, he was much better in this past game. Obviously, a big beneficiary of Russell Wilson and that deep ball. I think, we can expect that to, if not be the norm, I think we can expect to see a lot more of that now. But, George has some baggage. I think being on good behavior has to happen for more than 1 or 2 weeks. So I'm still sort of wait and see there. I think he certainly has the potential to be, but as I'm sitting here right now, if you're asking me if I would commit $25 million to him over a new 4-year contract, my answer would probably be no.
George Pickens, real quick, now 8th in the league among receivers in receiving yards.
No.
Real quick. Nice game with Russell Wilson at the helm. Ray, if the Steelers don't add to this receiver room, what is their ceiling? What is their ceiling if they do add a receiver? And part 3 of this long-winded question, who are some other names if they're not going to wind up with Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, well, Hopkins just went off the board, so that list is dwindling. I think their ceiling, as they stand right now, if they get to 6-2, I think they have a chance to go to 11-6. I think even with the second half of the schedule, 11-6 is probably what, 4 seed, 5 seed, depending on whether you win your division. I think that's probably their ceiling without adding. Let's say they add Cooper Kupp, and he's a big difference maker. I could see them maybe going 13-5, and then you're talking about maybe being, a 2 or a 3 seed. So, again, I don't know that that's in play, but I think we all know that there's another level for this offense. We saw that with Russ in a 1-game sample. I think if you add another receiver like a Kupp or somebody else, I think certainly the offense could get much better, and you wouldn't have to play as many close games.
Ray, I'm going to say the coach's name, and I want you to give me a grade, all right? Mike
Okay.
Tomlin.
I'll go B.
Arthur Smith.
B+.
Terrell Austin.
A-.
Danny Smith.
A+.
Should Mike Tomlin be in consideration of Coach of the Year right now?
Yeah, I think so. For navigating the first 6 games with your backup quarterback after your starter gets injured in camp. And just look at not just that injury, Doran, but look at what this offensive line has gone through. Look at what this secondary has gone through. I wrote about this a little bit yesterday, the different approach that they've taken in developing these young players. We've seen Beanie Bishop develop before our eyes, with Cam Sutton out. They had the same plan with Corey Trice. Unfortunately, Corey got injured. So, I think Mike is always changing. He's always trying to better himself as a coach. I don't know that, he's going to be the coach of the year, but I find it funny in 18 years now, he's never won it. I think certainly one of these years, I think he's probably going to win it.
Ray Fittipaldo joining us here on the Fan Morning Show, which is brought to you by Guardian Protection, your hometown home and business security company. Okay, so the Steelers have been running the ball. They're ninth best in the league at that. Najee Harris, 2 straight games with over 100 yards rushing. Do you think if he keeps this up that he'll be a Steeler next year, or is this exactly how they've envisioned this? You light the fire under his feet, and he was going to sing for his supper a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's been really good the last couple of games. I would say up and down season. I think early in the season, maybe, we were questioning his field vision a little bit, his decisiveness. I still think sometimes there's a little too much hesitation or dancing in the hole before he hits it. Those are all valid criticisms. But I think for the most part, this guy is durable. He's always available, and he's going to play hard for you. So I don't know if the Steelers are going to want to do business with him in January. I think if they do, it's obviously going to be at less than the $6.7 million they were going to pay him on the 5th-year option. And really, the unanswered question that we still have, their reason for not picking up the option was his fit in Arthur Smith's offense. And to this point in the season, I still can't give you an answer on that. I think, again, he's looked good at times, not good at other times. It could be that Arthur has a specific back that he's looking for, and it just might not be a back like Najee Harris. It's no crack at Najee. It's just like he might want a different type of a back in his system.
Ray, do you feel like that this is a 2-team race for the AFC North at this point? Or do you think that the Bengals are still capable?
I think the Bengals are still capable of making noise, but I don't consider them to be in the race for the to win the division. So, in other words, I think the Bengals can still get to like 9-8 and 10-7, get into the playoffs, maybe even knock the Ravens or the Steelers down a peg. But that start that they had, I don't think the division is in play for them. But I still do think they can be a factor in the AFC.
Do you think, I'll rephrase this, do you feel better about the Steelers' chances of winning a playoff game now than you did before they entered the season?
Before Sunday night, yeah, because of what Russ brings. I think, we saw the passing game unlocked a little bit. It looked like an NFL offense to me, and that's no slight at Justin Fields, but it kind of reminded me of what we had when Ben Roethlisberger was the quarterback, right? A guy who had command, had presence back there, could change plays, would take shots one-on-one down the field. And, I just think with Justin, we never really, the Steelers never really looked quite like they did when Ben was the quarterback. And I'm not trying to draw comparisons between Ben and Russell, but they are similar types of quarterbacks, pro-style quarterbacks who came up in this league a certain way. And when you have quarterbacks like Justin, who were maybe brought up in different systems, and we all know what the influence of the college game has had on the league, but Russ is part of a dying breed. And I think as long as you run a pro-style offense, I think a quarterback like Russ can really be a big benefit to an offense.
Ray, this was very good. As always, we appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you next week, buddy.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you.
Thanks, Ray.
See him. Ray Fittipaldo of the Post-Gazette says with Cooper Kupp, they could win 13 games.
I believe that.
If that's the case, then yeah, you give up a second. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.